All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's September 4th. It's hard to believe we're into fall, but I guess the fall temperatures we've got here are really nice to, I don't see a 100-degree temperature coming back anytime soon in the forecast. So welcome to fourth quarter. This is usually the biggest quarter for hiring. So hopefully you'll learn some things today and in the next few weeks, and everybody will have a job coming by Thanksgiving. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to start out with success stories. We know of one landing so far, and if anybody else has landed, or you have you've taken a full-time or part-time job, you're welcome to announce it in just a few seconds. We'll then have everybody enter their information for their 30-second introductions. Then we'll go through our committee reports, workshop, job fairs, pick career interview, success workshop, career tip of the week. And then we'll have our main event, and today that main event is open forum and a presentation on crystal nose, which I think everybody will find very fascinating. For those people on Zoom, at the very bottom, there's a participant box. If you'll click on that, please make sure that your full name is in there, because that's what I capture. I'll capture those names, do screenshots, capture them to make sure I log everybody in. That if you're using this as a requirement for TWC or to update the roster, this is how I'll do that, by capturing. And if your full name is not there, if you don't have your full first and last name, if you would, hover over the microphone camera and up should pop rename, and then you can go in there and you can change your name. So I've got your full first and last name. That'll really help me out. For those people on Zoom, once again, if you have any questions during this presentation, please open up the chat box. And for those people on Facebook, just use the comment box at the very bottom, and you can enter all the information in right there. And I am monitoring the Facebook feed, and I'll be sure to answer any questions that pop up, or any things you want to talk about later when we go into open forum. We asked that there's a couple different ways to view things for those people who are on the desktop version of Zoom. There's a speaker view and a gallery view. The speaker view is in the lower left-hand corner, which has got the one with the red arrow on it. And where that red arrow is, there's a couple little white lines, and you can sit there and drag that back and forth. So if you want to make me smaller right now because you rather see the slides, great. But if you want to make me bigger because you like to look at me, you can make me bigger and make the slides smaller, whatever you'd like to do. Please note this event is being recorded and is currently live on Facebook. The recording will be on the Career FW Facebook page and on the Career USA YouTube channels for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, and if you post a comment in the chat box or have your microphone or camera on, you give consent for your comment's name and picture to appear. Well, good morning. My name is Jeff Morris. Since 2007, I've been facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. In 2008, I started CareerDFW.org to help people sort of coordinate all these things going on in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We are very lucky to have as many networking groups as we do here. I've had a couple conversations this week with people outside the DFW area, and they're just amazed at everything we have going on here. In 2012, I launched CareerUSA.org to help people outside the DFW area. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team. Well, we'd like to start the meeting off with good news. So, Mark, I'll let you start us off, since you said you've got a landing for us.
All right, there you go. I just posted it up real quick so you guys can see how Vanu's name is spelled. So Vanu practiced 4 times. This is such a good pit crew success story. So he practiced 4 times. The first time was a generic interview. I mean, he didn't have a company, he just sent in a good looking job description. And so that was April 15th. And then he practiced again on the 4th of May, and then practiced twice a week apart for an interview with Amazon Web Services. None of those worked out, but time has passed, and he sent me an email earlier this morning and says he has 3 offers in hand. So in the end, he had an offer from Dish to be a program manager, from Black Box to be a product manager, and he accepted the job at Mavenir as a senior technical program manager. So congratulations to Vanu. Quite a success story.
Well, great. Thank you very much, Mark. Anybody else, any other landings? If you do, you're welcome to unmute your mic and tell us the good news. Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? All right, we'll move on. And you can see I have my donuts here in the background. I've not been to Krispy Kreme in a while, but I really want to. Okay, it's time for everybody to put in their 30-second introduction. So what we'd like you to do is open up the chat box and do not hit the return key yet, but put in your name, your phone number, your email address, the position that you're looking for, and then 2 or 3 target companies. And I will put this information out this afternoon along with the roster, and hopefully maybe you can look at the list, and if you have any contacts with these companies, you can help other people. So if you will, name, phone number, email address, position you're looking for, 2 or 3 target companies, and then please hit the return key. So hopefully everybody's had an opportunity to do that, and you continue to do that. And I'll remind people at the end, for those people who are new, to be able to do the same thing. And for those people on Facebook, if you happen to enter your information, I will go and delete that information when the meeting's over. I'll capture the information off the comment box, and then I'll delete your post so that your phone number and contact information doesn't stay on Facebook. All right, well, good morning, Alden. It's time for our job, career fairs, training, and workshops coming up.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Good morning, everybody. The information that I'm about to share with you comes from the website careerdfw.org, and I focus on career and job fairs. There's a lot of stuff on the calendar tab that you can see when you go in and look at that website. Again, career and job fairs and special workshops or events. I go through these fairly quickly. So if there's something in here that catches your ear, you can always go to the calendar, click on that, and there will be a link in there that will either allow you to register or give you more information or whatever else you need. All right, having said that, for career and job fairs, being that this is Labor Day weekend, no career and job fair events are scheduled for the current reporting period. However, special workshops or events. Online LinkedIn Tuesdays at 1 p.m. online. This is a rotating seminar provided by Locke Alderson, Terry Sullivan, and Ruth Lipsky. There's a Zoom link for that. It's Tuesday, September 8th from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m.
And Terry Sullivan will be our speaker.
And if you haven't heard Terry, I strongly urge you to hear him. He approaches LinkedIn from a marketing standpoint, and it's very different from what most people usually cover, which is basics on just how to use LinkedIn. Mechanically speaking, as opposed to trying to use it for marketing. Online, again, interviewing Wednesdays at 1 p.m. with Mark McDonald and Walt Glass. That would be Wednesday, September 9th from 1 to 2:30 p.m. If you haven't participated in that particular online session, I would urge you to attend. Again, that's Wednesday, September 9th from 1 to 2:30. There's a Zoom link on the calendar. Online Resume Thursdays with Ruth Brickell, a certified professional career coach. That's Thursday, September 10th from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And there's a Zoom link for you to participate in that one. Winning Resumes, speaker recruiter Phil Resch, co-founder at Career Care, will be held Thursday, September 10th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. There's a Zoom link for that. And as we normally have a Monday meeting, the Who You Know workshop wasn't scheduled for this coming Monday, but we'll be back again on Monday, September 14th. That session is hosted by Foster Williams. And if you don't know Foster, I would urge you to get to know him. And that's it for the holiday weekend. I'd like to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day weekend.
And I also just want to point out one more thing that'll be coming up. Registration will be happening next week. Starting September 15th, the Frisco Career Transition Workshop will be back. And we've got 6 different sessions lined up for the next 6 weeks. There are all the information on there. The registration link is not set up yet, but as soon as I get it, I will stick it up on the calendar, and I'll be sure to let people know next week so you can get registered. We will be broadcasting everything on Facebook Live. So if for some reason you're not one of the 100 people to be able to get into the Zoom that day, you can always watch it on Facebook Live. So we'll have more information here as soon as it gets up here. We'll get the registration link up. But I just want to point that out that once again, we're not going to be South Lake Stonebriar. We're not going to be meeting at Stonebriar in person for that. So like I say, it'll be coming up for 6 Tuesdays from 3 to 4:30. All right, let's see.
And if you haven't attended that workshop, I strongly urge you to attend. There's a lot of information that's very valuable in your job search.
Right. So thank you. All right. Moving on. Let's see here. If you're trying to find a networking group and you're not sure where else, I know there's some people that are brand new, never been with us before. If you're trying to find other webinars or other events you can go to, right at the very top on Career DFW, I've added a link because of these special times to say if you're trying to find a group, just click up where that blue arrow is on the right-hand side. It will open up a screen that looks something like this. And all the webinars, everything that's online is in purple. And you can find those events right there, and you click any one of them, and all the information you need to get into the event will be listed there. If you know somebody who just lost their job, I see another 800,000 people are newly unemployed as of this week. If you just lost your job and you're not sure what to do, if you click here for help on the right arrow, on the blue arrow once again, you'll see a screen on Career USA that'll come up like this, and it's got some really good information on just some basic things you should do. There's a great checklist there. There's all sorts of other information that you can download and read about if you know, just to get your job search going. Mark, the practice interview team.
All right, good morning, everybody. And let me encourage you to link in with me, first of all. And you can do that by searching Mark, initial A, McDonald. Or you can also search Dallas Pit Crew and I'll show up. So the Pit Crew is...
Oh, Mark, you froze.
Monday. If you'd like to come and practice like Banu did with just a generic job description, then send your information in to the email address dallaspitcrew@gmail.com, and we'll go to work setting up an interview for you. And what does that mean? Well, you need to send in a job description and your resume. And I have a group of volunteers who've all been hiring managers. They'll study up on your information and give you a very personalized and customized interview experience. And we're all about building your confidence that you can tell your story well in any interview situation. So, you know, telling your story well doesn't necessarily mean you'll land the job, but, you know, you represent yourself well, you answer the questions well, you anticipate, you build rapport, all those kinds of things go into having a good interview, representing yourself well. So that's what we give you a chance to practice, and we'll, you know, ask you some of the tougher questions because, you know, nobody flubs the easy questions. So we may ask you, why did you leave your last job? Or don't you think you're overqualified? You know, tell me a time where you failed. These kinds of questions, and give you, not all of them are going to be, you know, extra tough, but some of them will be, and that's how you build your confidence. So that's, okay. Third part of that is that it takes a couple of days to set up a practice interview. So resume, job description, and your availability for +2 days and +3 days. So I'm setting up interviews for Tuesday and Wednesday now. And then, you know, on Saturday, I'll be working on Thursday and Friday interviews for next week. So don't wait too long to, you know, sometimes I get calls on Mondays about opportunities that have been, you know, set up for Tuesday or Wednesday. And sometimes that works, but other times it doesn't. So, and I feel really bad when I'm not able to set up a practice interview. So try to get it in as early as you can, and including just sending in a generic job description. So that means, you know, no company in particular, but it's got all the things in there. And you can find those just by Googling. You know, if you're a project manager, Google job description for project manager, and you'll get lots of options available to you. A couple other things I want to mention is I've had some landings in the Pit Crew Core, the panelists, the interviewers. And so if you've been a hiring manager, you're qualified to help others via the pit crew, and contact me if you'd like to get involved. You don't have to do it every week. You basically do it when you're available. So I'll give you some more information if you're interested in doing that. And also, I forgot to mention on last Wednesday, that I also coach how to answer the question, why did you leave your last job? So, and that's the single thing I coach on. That's my area of expertise. So if it's a question that's going to make you nervous, anxious, you're not sure how you should answer that question, even if it was maybe a job 2 or 3 jobs ago, because a lot of interviewers will ask you to, tell them why you left all the positions that are on your resume. So if you've got one there that's going to cause you some difficulty, let's have a confidential conversation about it, and we'll come up with the answer to that question, but also answers to any follow-up questions that your situation may generate. And then finally, the webinar, just briefly mentioned that. So last week was analyzing the job description. So that ends the first 5. So we're on session 6. Session 6 is the first section about delivering your interview experience. And so we're going to cover openings and closings and follow-up. So when I have a very little time to coach people about an interview, I say, let's make sure we get a good start. And a good start is directly connected to how you close your interview and how you follow up. So those are all 3 together in one session: openings, closings, and follow-up. That'll be a great session, 1 o'clock on Wednesday. Walt and I will be presenting.
Very good. Thank you very, very much. Oh, and by the way, I just thought some of you may have seen on LinkedIn, we posted that, but for those who haven't, as of yesterday, when we did our effective resume class, yesterday was the 100th workshop that we've put on since COVID started in March. So today, this is workshop number 101, and we're very glad everybody's with us, and hopefully we'll have another 100 more, and then we'll be meeting in person again. So we'll sort of see what happens here. So thanks for everybody. There's been over 5,000 people who've been part of the 100 sessions we've done, and really appreciate Mark and Walt for all their time putting in on the workshop every Wednesday. All right, good morning. It's time to hear from Sue Ellen and hear about the career tip of the week.
Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to hear an article written by Gwen Moran. She writes about business, money, and assorted other topics for leading publications and websites, and she is the co-author of The Complete Idiot's Guide to Business Plans. Today's topic is 7 critical steps to make your cover letter stand out. Resumes get the attention, but a good cover letter can go a long way toward helping you get the attention of hiring decision makers. A recent survey by Resume Lab found that 83% of respondents claimed that a great cover letter can land an interview even if your resume isn't really good enough. But what makes a great cover letter? This 7-point cheat sheet will help you write a letter that's short, sweet, and gets attention. First, be interesting. You have just a few seconds to grab the reader's attention, so start with whatever it is about you that will grab their interest. If you've been referred by someone influential, lead with that. Otherwise, think about the fact or brief anecdote that will catch interest. It might be your experience, expertise, or a big impact you made. Avoid at all costs the typical and dry, I'm writing about your job listing. Next, focus 100% on your value. Let recruiters and hiring managers know exactly how you're of value. Pick out the most important skills, experiences, training, accolades, and other accomplishments. Share them in descending order of importance. Consider how you would use keywords from the job ad in your resume and integrate them in your cover letter too. Next, think about your salutation. There are a number of salutation options ranging from Dear Hiring Manager to whom it may concern, or Dear Sir or Madam. When possible, it's best to address your cover letter to a person. However, if you're responding to an ad, you may need to choose a generic option. The best one depends on your industry norms. Some feel these standards are outdated and should be avoided in favor of the more modern salutations. Others feel it's better to avoid the modern ones and stick with the old standards. You'll have to make that decision for yourself. Keep it short. Many companies now use applicant tracking systems, which can typically accommodate a cover letter up to 250 words. There has been some research done that shows that the length that typically gets past an applicant tracking system. As for structure, you'll need a compelling lead paragraph, then 2 or 3 short paragraphs or bullet points in the body, highlighting your key strengths, and a closing that includes your interest in the next steps. Be sure you show off a little. Between the opening and close, make a powerful case for why you're the right person for the job and company. Use active words to describe how you truly made a difference. Instead of, I have worked on financial reports, try saying, I single-handedly created my team's financial reports and presented them to senior management. Bring a sense of enthusiasm to the writing. Your cover letter shouldn't just repeat what's in your resume. Work on adding something fresh. Be sure to proofread. It's common advice, but cannot be overstated. Typos can indicate carelessness and put you out of the running before you start. Use your word processing program's spell check and editing functions, and get someone who can spot typos and grammatical errors to take a look at it before you hit send. The reason career experts keep telling people to proofread is because the advice is often ignored. Finally, write intentionally. Your cover letter is an opportunity to give the person reading it a brief glimpse into who you are as a person. Use it to tell a brief, interesting story about why you're the best choice to hire. The bottom line, take some extra time with the cover letter to be sure it is tailored to the job and reflects you and your personality. Good luck.
Sue Ellen, thank you very, very much. I debated when I put this slide up about misspelling proofread. I was gonna, purposely misspell it and see if anybody would have caught it. But, I decided, I double checked my spelling a lot when I was looking at this slide. Okay, all right, so coming up here in just a few minutes, we're gonna do, first we'll have a presentation on Crystal Knows, and then we will do open forum. We'll spend the rest of the time talking about whatever it is you wanna talk about. Coming up next Friday, our speaker is going to talk about the new normal, job search, and what has changed. Our speaker is a recruiter, he's a professional recruiter, so he'll be sharing what he sees from his side of the desk. In 2 weeks, guidance for job searching during the pandemic, just some things to think about and things to do. And then the last Friday of the month, how to find target companies. This will be Kip and Ray's presentation on how to use Reference USA. So if you haven't really focused on picking, on targeting companies, this will be a great presentation on how to do that. Just a quick reminder, Career DFW, which we're broadcasting on the Career DFW Facebook page, and the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group are 2 separate organizations. The common thread is that I happen to lead both. You're welcome to overthrow me on the North Dallas group anytime and take over putting these slides and speakers and everything together, but you're not going to get Career DFW out of my hands. I just like to, this is not the Friday group of Career DFW. Okay, it's time for our main event. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a presentation on Crystal Knows. Patty, we'll let you take over the screen, and thank you for putting this together. And I think everybody, you're going to find this very fascinating.
Great, thanks a lot, Jeff. So let me share my screens here. Actually, I'll just start with the PowerPoint. All right. Okay, so let me just make sure I can.
If you have two screens, you probably have the presentation on your second screen. There we go.
Can you guys see it?
Yep,
Yes,
looks
now we
good.
can.
All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Crystal Knows. Some of you may have heard about it, and some of you might not have, and so thought I'd share a little bit about it with you. I'm going to go briefly into the background, the different personality types, and then I'm going to show you a bit of a live demonstration on what it is. So I think a lot of people are really curious about it, and they're like, well, what is it? How does it work? And what happens? So if you can see this on the screen, let me make sure if I can minimize that. All right. So it does use artificial intelligence to identify your behavioral patterns. So it will go into LinkedIn. You have to click on a LinkedIn profile, and you can see that person's personality. So really what they're trying to do with this as well is that they're trying to have people within organizations work better together. But certainly it's all about helping better decision making and everything else. Now, on average, they'll even say on their website that it's about 80% accurate. And I think from everybody else I've talked to, Jeff included, I think it's a little higher than that. Of course, there are going to be some things that you differ with and so forth, but I really find it fascinating, and so want to talk a bit about that too. So also, again, there's a Google Chrome extension that you can download, and then it will be able to view that profile when you look at it. So if you'll want to go to crystalknows.com and you can sign up for free, and you'll get 10 free profiles. I like milked that for as long as I could, and I did it for people I was interviewing with, so I knew how to interact with them. And it's about $30 per month after that. But with that $30 subscription per month, it's unlimited profiles. I can look at anybody ad nauseum. So I think it's pretty cool. So when we take a look at the different personality types, you can see that there's basically kind of 4 quadrants. So the D, actually similar to DISC, right? DISC. So you'll see how that is. There are 8 questions that you would answer when you go on there, and with those 8 questions, you indicate, are you more like this or are you less like this? And then it will calculate that for you, and then it'll tell you what kind of personality type you are. All right, so now I'm going to go into a live demo. So let me see if I can stop sharing on that, and then I'm going to share the actual site. All right, so can everybody see this?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So you see this little tab here? It says view personality. So I have Jeff Morris pulled up here. So Jeff, we're gonna see your personality here in 1 second. And what it will do is it will pull out a scroll bar. I've got to see how to hide this. I'm not sure how to hide that, but anyway, can you see that?
Yes, we see it.
Okay, so it says Jeff is likely a natural planner that only feels comfortable with all the available information analysis. So you kind of look at this information. So his type, for example, is editor. So I have this little scroll bar to the right, and as I scroll down, you'll see other things that it has. It says conversation coach, and this is where, and before I get into that, I'm going to go further down into the comparisons. So I have where I am on the wheel. So I'm an analyst, and you can see how we answer the questions. Is he more risk tolerant or risk averse? Are you more trusting or more skeptical? And so forth. And you answer these questions and go through it. So Jeff and I are similar in a lot of ways. That's why we're very close together on this personality wheel, right? Further down, it basically gives you an overview of what comes naturally to Jeff. tells what he's motivated by, his energizers, and then what his stressors are. And then as far as communication, it says, when I speak with him, I should be prepared to answer questions, remain stoic and objective, avoid sarcasm. Though, Jeff, you can chime in anywhere where you think it's off. And then when emailing, use proper grammar and formatting. I think he alluded to that previously, right? Use descriptive, accurate language, avoid overly casual language. And then it talks about when meeting with Jeff. So if I have an actual meeting with him, what do I do? Discuss realistic solutions, give him time to process after the meeting, examine the data before making decisions, and so forth. When I want to work with him or collaborate with him, then it will say, this is what he has. So present the pros and cons of your ideas and so forth, right? And then there are different playbooks. And then what I want to go back to further up here is this conversation coach. So which you can also get to with this whistle button. So if Jeff were hiring me, so if I were to call Jeff, email him, or have a meeting with him, say I'm going to have a conversation with him, it has a lot of different things here on what I need to call and discuss with him. If I need to call and negotiate, make a sales pitch, whatever else, deliver bad news. So you're probably saying, okay, how does it help me as a job seeker? I want to convince them to hire me. So this is where I've used it for my job search. I've used this profile on interviewers of who I'm interviewing with, hiring managers, other people I've interviewed with. It says basically what to say. It says the do's and don'ts for each kind of personality type. And so what I have found in my job search is that this has been very helpful because in many cases, most of us don't know the people that we're interviewing with. We don't know what kind of person they are. You know what you need to do as far as your job search, but you don't know them and how to interact with them. So here it says, for Jeff, I would use a calm and collected tone, offer to answer questions he has in writing. I can express my respect for his past accomplishments. Things that I shouldn't do. I don't want to leave any of his questions unanswered. I don't want to work outside of his established hiring process. So basically, in other words, don't go around the gatekeeper. Don't spend time connecting emotionally. And don't push for a decision before establishing trust. So I think this is very helpful in a job search. Hopefully everybody else would agree with that. And again, you can go through and look here. If I had to persuade him to take action, it'll tell me again, what would I say? What would I do? Give him a list of steps, give him different options, eliminate any unknowns, and that makes him feel more comfortable in moving along in the action area that you want to go to. If I need to deliver bad news, what do I need to do, right? So for that, need to stay calm, pragmatic, give them time to process, and again, don't speak emotionally about it. Don't provide an overly optimistic expectation of the future, and so forth. So you can see here that there's really a lot of very good things that you can go through of how you need to work with Jeff. And I think that this is an important tool also for if you are managing a team once you get hired, and how do you communicate best with them? Because a lot of times team members and people aren't going to tell you. And this is a really good way to at least kind of get your foot in the door, besides obviously having the conversation with them on how to work with them. All right, so that's a little bit about that. There are also some different playbooks that you can run as well. The other thing that I really liked about this is, just just having this little bit of insight, I think, will really help you to have that extra edge that you would need in any interview that you have, because others don't have this. Now, as I have this open on Jeff, and I have this, view personality, and Crystal knows, he doesn't know that I have pulled this on him. And also, I think some people are going to ask, do you have to be connected in order for the profile to work? No, you don't. You don't have to be a first-degree connection or anything. You just have to click on that person's profile and it'll share it with you. Okay. So with that, I think what I wanted to ask with some people is, just for fun, with, I'm going to look up, let me see. Bill Gates, I wonder what people think his personality type is, right? I'm not connected to him, but let's see what he has. And for his personality profile, he's actually also an analyst like me. Now, not knowing Bill Gates, but knowing, of course, how influential he is out there, I would have thought that he would have been in this part of the quadrant, like an influencer and so forth. But he's actually an analyst type. So I thought that was very interesting. And so, of course, just to look at his types of personality profiles, it talks about, where is he with compared to me, risk averse, risk tolerance. I'm surprised he's so risk averse. He's actually more risk averse than me. He's more skeptical than me. He's more pragmatic than me. So it's really interesting to see big, influential CEOs, obviously, that have changed the world, and that they have this kind of a profile. So I was really a bit surprised by it. So I think that's very interesting. It talks a bit about what comes naturally for him, what he's most motivated by, what his stressors are when speaking with him, how to handle that conversation. If I'm emailing Bill Gates, this is what I need to do, and when I'm meeting with him, and so forth. Okay. It looks like I have probably some questions in the conversation in the chat.
Yeah, one of them is, let's see here, does this use AI to analyze LinkedIn profiles on the fly, or does it use an assessment that a person may have previously taken?
I mean, Jeff, you never took the assessment, right?
No, I have not.
Okay, so it's based on what it sees in LinkedIn, based on what he's posted and everything else. So you don't have to take the assessment. I did under the free version, and of course, so then it has how it can be benchmarked against me. But no, you don't have to take it, and it could predict you. So if I selected you, then I could go ahead and this thing will tell me what it's like.
And so I also
follow up to that.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I had a follow up to that question. So I wonder if it is affected by who actually writes the LinkedIn profile. Like if you hired someone to write your profile, would that change your assessment?
Well, I think there's one thing for just the profile, but is that person then also posting on your behalf and sharing on your behalf and doing other things on your behalf?
It's possible, right? If you're a CEO of a company or, someone in a leadership position, you might have someone else do your postings for you.
Maybe, but that's, I don't know. I think that's not 99% of the people.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly.
I also, I guess another comment or question would be, if somebody has a very empty LinkedIn profile, it probably isn't going to do very well because there would be very little information to pull from, I would assume.
Right. I mean, if there's hardly anything in that profile and people just signed up and there isn't, I haven't tried it on somebody who has like nothing in their profile, but yeah.
Okay. And also, I mean, just so everybody knows that in my about section on the LinkedIn profile, I do mention my top 5 strengths on stuff from Strength Finders. So I'm sure that's a big flag or a big help to any kind of artificial intelligence when you tell it any kind of results that it can go and use in its processing.
Yeah, I think what's interesting, I mean, look at Bill Gates, just says co-chair, co-founder, voracious reader, avid traveler, active blogger. He hardly has anything in his about section, right? Yet it's still able to pick out analyst for him.
Tony asked, can you give feedback on what it got right and what it got wrong about you? Can you go back to me? Can you go look me up again? And then,
Oh, sure.
and then I'll go back through. I mean, I think it's about 90% accurate. So we'll go through let's see here. So let's see, overview, what comes natural. Let's see here, go ahead and go down a little bit to keep going down to keep going down. All right, it's right here in the overview. Yes, I do read all instruction manuals. Sometimes I read them 2 or 3 times because I want to make sure I know what something does that I have purchased. Prefer to improve an existing document than whether I'm okay writing a brand new one. That doesn't really bother me. So, you know, I could go either way on that one. And yes, I would communicate an important concern in writing. Motivated by structure. Yeah, I've been told in the past that I'm pretty black and white. So, you know, right or wrong, rules and processes, yes. For 20 years, I was a softball umpire. So you either follow the rules or you don't.
That's very interesting.
That is not in my LinkedIn profile. Opportunity to demonstrate expertise. Well,
Yeah.
I do that when I give presentations all the time. I mean, my expertise has sort of become this whole career thing. Most stressed, frequent collaboration with others. Well, I'm an introvert. So having to deal with other people sometimes tends to be a little stressful. I am stressed by large crowded events where I'm not speaking or not in charge of because, you know, just to be a fly on the wall just isn't me. Acting on gut instincts. I don't know how much I agree with that. I don't think that stresses me out. Maybe it did in the past, but I don't think so now. You know, so yeah, like I said, overall, I say it's, you know, 85, 90%. I'd give it a B plus, A minus in what it talks about for me. You know, using proper grammar and formatting. Yeah, just because in all this resume stuff that I do, you know, you got to do it. You got to make it look right. You know, I'm going to pick these things up of what doesn't look right. You know, just spending the time to make sure things look right. So I agree. Somebody said, can we look at you? Can we look at somebody like to see what he looks like? So can we pop somebody else in?
Sure.
Okay, his name is Sam Courtney. C-O-U, let's see here. It just popped off my screen. C-O-U-R-T-N-E-Y. Yep, there you go.
Is that
First one, yeah. Sam, is that you?
Let me refresh it. I
That's
see
it.
a big black box here.
Yep, no, it's coming. Here we go. Oops.
So it says questioner.
So
Sam,
please
do you agree with this?
Yeah, Sam, please unmute your mic and we'll scan through a little bit and you tell us what you think.
Yeah, I haven't done the, I haven't done the assessment yet, but I was actually going to do that after we finish the session today. So I was really interested to see how it compares to you because I won't have that capability, but
Well,
yeah.
you will if you sign up
Oh, okay, perfect.
for free and you get the free 10 profile. But yeah, so compared to me, this is where you are, right? So you're a bit more risk tolerant, a little bit more trusting, though we're about the same. You're a bit more optimistic, a bit more forceful, a bit more fast paced. I guess you're right in the middle. You're a bit more expressive actually a little bit more autonomous, though we're about the same, and we're about the same under the supporting dominant one.
I'm
as well.
curious about, you know, you've obviously used this a lot. Is there, you know, is there patterns that you've seen about people that are not necessarily in the same field, but maybe people that are coming to networking groups versus people that don't do any networking, or things like that? I'm just curious to see, is there a particular type of profile pattern that you know, regularly see from, you know, interacting with people that are looking for jobs and so forth?
Well, I mean, I haven't looked at it from that angle. I will say that because I was in sales before, so I'm interviewing, you know, for either sales positions or client service positions. Most of those people fall under captain, driver, architect in the upper left-hand quadrant. I really have yet to see anybody in this lower right-hand quadrant, if you will, this part. Really haven't seen anybody here. I've seen a couple people here. I've seen a majority of the people here, but I haven't run it on like all the job seekers or other people I'm connected to see, well, where does everyone really fall? Are we all here and all the hiring managers are all here? All the
Right.
people I'm hiring or looking to get hired by tend to be up here, but they're in sales, and that's where you're going to find a lot of these people, right? Drivers and so forth.
And so when you do this, this assessment, is there an alignment, or is there something that you just mentioned that says, you know, these kind of jobs fall into these profiles and so forth? We've seen this in other types of profile assessments like DISC and Kingdomality and some of the others that, you know, that I've seen myself. So maybe you could talk a little bit about, you know, how do the jobs and the careers align with the different personalities? Thanks for doing the comparison for me.
Yeah, I mean, so with the jobs, I'm not sure why I see a black screen here. Does anybody see this black box, or is it just me?
No, it's just you. We don't see it.
All right, so it's really hard for me to see. Let me see if I can duplicate this screen and get out of this other one. Yeah, I have a big black box here. I'm not sure where it's coming from. Okay, so what I was going to do was show you like the different jobs and like what I'm looking for and how it posts up, because there is a job feature on here. So if I were to
Do you want to give me remote control? I'm going to request remote control and see if I can move the mouse for you. Okay, see if I can.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
So okay, so I can.
Because I see a big black box over here, and so I can't see anything.
So I just clicked on jobs. Let's see here.
Right.
And oh, it says search for your next job. So
do you want to like type in customer success or something?
yeah, let's see here. It's not, well, maybe I don't have control.
No. I have it in the PowerPoint too, so I can share that.
Yeah, I'll give it, it didn't want to work for me, so.
Yeah, maybe I need to just stop share. I'm not sure why I see a black screen here.
So somebody asked while you're reloading, do you load LinkedIn first or do you load Crystal Knows first?
You load in LinkedIn first, and then you have to open the tab. If you keep this tab open while you're, you know, doing it, then it's not gonna, you can inadvertently burn through a lot of your free profiles, which happened to me because I happen to have, I don't know, I was just checking out somebody's profile and I'm like, oh no, I had this tab open on the right, and then it happened to, you know, burn through it. So, but anyway, let me see if I can get to.
And Laura asked, how is this different than this? Do you know how it?
I don't know how different the questions are, so let me see if I can get that open.
So the plugin only works with Chrome. It doesn't work with any other browser, right?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can try it with another browser, but yeah,
And
I'm not sure.
I'll throw out there for everybody with a desktop, you should always have Firefox, Chrome, and the new Microsoft Edge loaded on your computer, because if one of them gets a virus, you need another program to be able to go and de-virus your computer. So just don't, you know, from a safety standpoint and having to fix other people's computers in the past, have multiple browsers available for you, because sometimes things work in one thing. There's something on the Career DFW website that the map doesn't want to work in Chrome, but it works great in Firefox and Edge. So, you know, just be aware of those things.
Okay, so now actually it looks like I've got LinkedIn back up and working, got rid of this black box. So I'm going to share again really
Okay.
quickly. So hold on one second, folks. Sorry about that. Okay, so can everyone see my screen again?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go to here to jobs and just do something, you know, in jobs so that you guys can look for it. So I'm going to do like customer success, right? I'll look in Phoenix.
By the way, Patty's in Phoenix, in case you didn't know.
Yes.
She's decided that she likes to keep the 100-degree temperatures, so please keep them all out there.
We're going to break records this weekend. So I think you'll see that it lists up a lot of different customer success positions and so forth. So here you might say, well, how good are they? So can you see over here on the right, it says view job fit?
Yes.
So what's really cool is it'll come on to me. Wow, I'm really surprised. Very low fit for me. It looks like it's putting that information over here. Now you might say, well, are all customer success positions like that? And I think they're not. So if you keep on clicking through, will it say, oh, you know, now this one is more of a fit for me, right? And over here, how about this one, this customer success analyst? Very high fit for me. From what it reads in the job.
And I imagine it all depends on how detailed they put in a job description.
Correct, exactly. So actually, this was something I just happened to stumble on when I was doing, you know, going through and using the Crystal Knows. I'm like, well, wait a minute, how did this thing pop out? So what I'm like, wow, this is really useful. This is really cool. So if I'm looking at different jobs and everything else, I'll say, fine, Crystal Knows, what does it say? If it looks like it's a good match for me, and I've got, as we all know, if you want to have you know, a majority of the requirements, then go ahead, apply for the job. But what's interesting is you can't just say, oh, all titles such as customer success or sales or whatever, you know, are good fits for you. It clearly depends on what they've written in here as well. So I think this is very interesting. And again, you could try it on any job that you're interested in doing, and it'll say, you know, why. And then what it also says when you scroll down is the expected behaviors. What are the important behaviors for this? What are the important traits? So again, if it's something you really want to go after, these are some things maybe for you to consider that you could put into your cover letter as well. You know, that you're good at problem solving, you're you know, creative and have critical thinking skills and so forth. So I thought this was very interesting because I just happened upon this person, not just personality, but for job fit as well. Right.
And I'm just glancing to see if we have any more questions here.
Yeah.
You know, you probably don't know this. How do many recruiters use this to screen applicants?
I don't know.
A lot of recruiters may not even know about this. I mean, this, you know,
this is our secret, guys.
Yeah, I've been doing this for 12 years, 13 years, and I just found out about this about a month and a half ago, going, whoa, this is really fascinating.
Yeah, exactly. And so this kind of can be your secret weapon, I think, in your job search. And again, when you sign up for free, you get like 10 free profiles to try it out. I would not just burn them on everybody and everything, because then you'll get through the 10 and then you'll have to pay. I would use them on people you will be interviewing with. I actually tested it out on 2 or 3 people just to say, hey, how accurate do you guys think this is? And that's where they're like, wow, that's like me to a T. How did it figure that out? I'm like, I don't know. It looks like whatever you're putting in LinkedIn, it certainly figured you out pretty well, right?
Yeah, so if, if the person you're going to be looking up has a very skimpy LinkedIn profile, I wouldn't don't waste the effort. If they give you a very skimpy job description, don't waste the free version on it.
Right.
Somebody who has a very robust, because the more information they put in it, the better information they'll be able to come out with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to look at one more person who says they'd like to see what they look like? Can we?
Oh, sure.
Look them up. Elisa.
S as in A. Okay.
S-A, and last name is Miller, M-I-L-L-E-R.
Is that this one?
Person. Yep. She obviously likes to bake.
Counselor. So that's all the way over here on to the right, if you can see. So basically more risk tolerant than me, a lot more trusting than me, more optimistic, more accommodating, more fast-paced, expressive, collaborative, and more
Alyssa, please
supportive.
unmute your mic and please comment as you see yourself.
Is Alyssa there?
Yeah, she's logged in, but she's not turning on her mic. So
Okay.
she may be baking right now. She could have something in the oven.
Nope, sorry, the plumbers were here and I had to go. The plumbers.
Okay.
But this is exciting. So what did I come up with at the top?
So you're a counselor.
Oh, that's interesting. Because
So this is what it is. You're supportive, agreeable, adaptable, accommodating. You speak with warmth and kindness. You like encouragement. You avoid verbal confrontation. And then as you look through the comparisons, then you can see where you fell. Have you taken this test at all?
I
yourself?
have, well, hang on one second, because, so let's see. Oh, it's over here.
She has the plumber there. But it looks like she's baking some good things. It's making me hungry.
Yes, that's what Melissa.
What's really interesting is I took the disc and it told me I was an influencer.
Okay, well, how long ago did you take that?
5 minutes ago.
The disc or this one?
Well, the one from them, which looks like it's the disc, but yeah, I came up as an influencer, which is really interesting. So my profile is not saying that.
Yeah.
How fascinating.
Yeah. Do you agree with, you know, where it's coming up with all of these different questions?
Well, some of them I'm probably more in the middle of dominant and supporting. I'm probably more in the middle of collaborative and autonomous. Definitely expressive.
Yeah.
Definitely accommodating. I'm probably more in the middle of optimistic and pragmatic. All right, keep going, because I'm very curious about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The stressors are pretty on top. Yeah, the communications is probably true. Give her plenty of time to share her thoughts. Let's see. That's really interesting. Some of this is very fascinating.
Do you agree with most of it, or are you saying
Some
you're
of it,
less than 80%?
Yeah, probably less than 80%. As a
Surprising.
user experience person, one of the things that we try to do is make the world and software a better place and easier to use and better for our customers. So I find that just in the role of being in user experience is probably a lot about, it relating to this. I find it kind of interesting. I like to work collaboratively. I find that we get much better results when we work collaboratively. But I also need time to just work, work by myself. Now, working together, respect my work-life balance, absolutely. Confront conflict in person, not over email, absolutely. Those are perfectly straight on. So
if I had to give this, would I do somewhat accurate?
Yeah, I'd say somewhat. There's some things there that.
Then it's asking me what's inaccurate about it. So.
I probably am a little more skeptical than they note. I do need my my work alone time because I do analytical stuff with regard to research and developing strategy and things. But I like to take into account dealing with our customers, perspectives on the stuff that we build. If you go back up, I can probably give you a couple more things that I would say were a little inaccurate. But I find this fascinating.
Jeff, I know, are we over time? I know you have
No,
some other
we're
things.
good. We're good. I think people find this fascinating and want to know more about it, so please do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm totally fascinated.
One of the things that, I'm looking at your LinkedIn profile right now, Alyssa, because I want to go, all right, so this is what you say. Is this really what's in your profile? Are these things you talk about? Because
go to my about section. Because my strength finder themes, I think are perhaps more strategic input, adaptability. I'm highly adaptable, do a lot with ideation. I agree about the connectedness. I do like to work with people and so forth. And I think some of the strategic stuff is missing from this personality thing.
Right.
From the crystal nose.
I just think it's sort of, it's interesting that it's only as good as what you put in on your profile. So
yeah.
And yeah. So I wonder if you were to go edit your profile and add the DISC answers or whatever you got from DISC, would it then, and if you added whatever you got from Kingdomality and whatever you got from whatever else,
right,
would it then modify what your result would be again?
I find that a really interesting experiment to try, and I'm big into experimentation, so that makes a lot of sense. Hey, it's part of my job, we come up with a possible answer and figure out what the best way to solve. I'm very focused on not just problem solving, but figuring out what problem we need to solve. So I'm very much into the investigative part of the thing, and I'm finding that not exactly.
The two of you can reach out to each other via LinkedIn. Alyssa, you can go modify, add some more stuff, and then Patty can go rerun it again, and we can see, did it change, and you can report.
I can even change your personality type down here. If you say, I'm more blah, blah,
Oh, very interesting. Are the personality types defined in Crystal Nose so that we can take a look at them?
You know, you mean like what are all the things that fall into it? I
Yeah.
think it just depends on how you answer all these questions, right?
Okay, because I came up when I did the actual thing within Crystal Knows, I came up as an influencer, which I think is okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'm a split personality because I also teach college, and my process for doing that is very much counselor based, is bringing people along and teaching them and training them and giving them exercises to work on to learn. I'm very much into experiential learning. So there is a piece of me that probably is this counselor, but I would say that that's not the only piece of me. So
Yep. I think, you know, we all have different parts of this wheel that we are all part of, right? But where are we more dominant based on what it's seeing in LinkedIn and how you're responding and interacting and so forth. But for sure, you know, again, it's a guide.
Yeah.
For me, it's another tool in my job search toolkit to at least know a little bit more about the other person.
Sure.
And that way I know how to interact with them during a job interview, besides obviously answering the questions. You know, are they more warm fuzzy type? Are they not? Fine, get to business, you know.
Yeah,
So,
I can't wait to try this with the job fit thing, because that's going to be very interesting for me.
yeah, the jobs fit one is definitely very interesting. And yeah, if you sign up for free, and obviously you can go through and answer your questions and or modify certain things. And I think all of us, you know, can be different people on different days, or we're split personalities.
Right.
So, but I think, you know, it's a guide. It's one of those ones, as Jeff has mentioned, we've all seen, you know, DISC, Strengths Finder, Kingdomality. I mean, this is something else. But what I like about this is I could just click on it in LinkedIn. I don't, you know, usually you don't know people's strengths unless they tell you.
Right.
If it's Strengths Finder.
Right.
Here, I'm like, boom, what kind of a person are they? Great. Awesome. Okay. If I look at it with a grain of salt, this is about 80% accurate, then fine.
Yeah.
This will at least give me a point to go with and start with. And,
Yeah, I'm
and then
probably
for
not
the
as-
job fit,
Yeah,
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm probably more risk tolerant than I show up here, probably less trusting.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right, Alyssa, thank you for sharing. Let's look at one more, then that'll be it, because I don't want to.
I've taken the time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. This is great. I think people find this fascinating. Let me see here. It was.
I certainly do. Thank you so much, Patty.
Sure.
Let's see here. Can we do Ellen Beth Levitt?
That's this one here.
Second one. Yep.
It's thinking.
It doesn't come with music. I wish it came with music.
Okay, so she's an encourager. So hopefully Ellen Beth can see it.
I'm here. I'm here. Hi.
Hi. So you can say if you agree or disagree with this as I kind of scroll through it.
Okay, let's see. Yes. Yes.
So let me scroll down a bit more. So on the questions, sorry. So this is where you are on the grid.
Okay.
So kind of like upper right hand quadrant.
Yeah. The wording is very small, but I can see.
Oh,
on the
sorry.
left. Tolerant, trusting.
Risk tolerant is on the left. Trusting is on the left. Optimistic is on the left. We're at about the same for forceful or accommodating. Deliberate versus fast-paced. You're more fast-paced than me. Matter of fact versus expressive. You're more expressive. Autonomous versus collaborative. You're more collaborative. And then supporting versus dominant. You're a bit more supporting. And then it says down here what it comes naturally for you. Prefer to start a project from scratch, seek personal connection in new business relationships, feeling comfortable speaking to a new person.
Right, true.
Does that sound like you?
It's me.
Okay. Energizers, communications in public is most, let's see, working closely with others, new friendships, feeling accepted.
Yes, very on the mark.
Stressors, it says overly,
Feeling excluded. That's so true.
okay.
It's 50.
That's so true. Okay.
And communication,
Well,
affirm your bright ideas, talk about abstract philosophies or ideas and speak with an informal tone.
uh-huh.
And then emailing, keep it light and keep it lighthearted, include visual aids, use expressive, colorful language. I don't think they mean colorful, I mean the other kind of colorful. Probably mean expressive language. I think colorful would be really bad, probably. So you like to, when in meetings, you like to encourage the team, create time to freely discuss ideas, highlight shared victories.
Yes.
And then don't give you too much repetitive work.
True.
Don't build social time into the, build social time into the workflow and agree on a common goal.
So true.
So it's, how would you rate this on a scale of 0 to 100?
I would say 90, 95,
Okay.
probably.
All right.
So what are the little icons on the left? There's the person icon.
Yeah, so this is the conversation coach, which was how to deal with you. So if I need to call you and I want you to hire me, like these are the kinds of things I need to say to you. These are the kinds of things I need to do and not do. And this is what I look at when I do job search. So once I've selected, if I was looking to have an interview with you, Ellen Beth, I would just look at this and say, okay, this is what I need to concentrate on with her.
Oh, great. Okay.
Right? That's the conversation coach. That's also in the profile up here. It's the section. It's at the top. It's right. But you can click on the, the different things and look at playbooks and stuff.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah. So again, it's one of those things that I like to have an edge in an interview. I think somebody was asking me how it's helped. So for me, it's helped that all the people I was interviewing with were kind of in the top left quadrant. So I knew I had to get right to business, talk, directly with this and this, obviously follow their lead and how they want things to go. And so it's helped me. I mean, and I went through already, several different interviews with different people, and true to the mark, and I hadn't met them before, this really helped me in communicating with them and to make sure that, don't be too warm and fuzzy, Patty, with this person. Oh yeah, just get right to business and say this and that and whatever. And for me, I thought it was helpful. Again, everybody has their own opinion. You can sign up for free, try it for free. It can't hurt you to try it, in my opinion. So you don't have to pay for the paid subscription. But for me, I was wanting for more, obviously. So I found it helpful.
Patty, I just have one quick question. So if you sign up with crystalknows.com, how do you then link it to LinkedIn and get it to have that little badge on your LinkedIn so that you can start using it?
Yeah, I think it'll talk you through that process, if I recall, because I remember knowing that I had to do this downloadable icon for it, if I remember correctly. But it's been a while. It's been like 3 or 4 months since I've last done it. So I'm a little fuzzy on those details, but I'm sure that once it you take the assessment too, right? You'll sign up for free, and then it'll probably give you instructions on how to get this to populate and so forth for LinkedIn.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to use it.
Yeah.
Ellen, thank you very much. Patty, thank you. So just as, just sort of as a reminder, this is only good as the information that's in LinkedIn. So, if your profile's not complete, or the person you're looking at, if their profile's not mostly complete, it's not going to be very accurate. And you know, and it's thinking, it's going by the words that you use, whatever you share to come up with this information. So, you know, nothing is 100%, but this could be a tool, especially the do you fit with the job description tool. You know, there's jobscan.co that a lot of people go and use to put in their resume and the job description to see how close it is. This is doing the same thing for you within 5 seconds. I mean, you don't have to feed anything in. It's boom, boom, and there it is for you. So, you know, really fascinating.
I stopped sharing, Jeff, so if you want to share your screen.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, at this point, what I want to do is just sort of do open forum. We've got about another 35, 40 minutes, so we can talk about whatever it is you'd like to talk about in your job search. And if you have questions about something, please either raise your hand on the participant box or unmute your mic and talk away. Questions? Okay, the heat's gotten everybody, I guess. The rain's gotten everybody. Everybody's rusted shut. Their mouths are now rusted shut. They no longer can talk.
Everybody is just, their mind is blown from Crystal Knows, and they're just like, how did it know that about me?
Anything? Come on, I gave you all a whole week to know we're doing open forum today. Got to have a question about something.
Everyone wants to change their personality now.
I mean, I've looked at a couple. So I looked at a couple LinkedIn profiles and a couple that came up today, Ellen, and I don't remember Alyssa's, but you know, a couple of the profiles I looked up. Make sure that you turn off other people like me, because why are you promoting anybody else? You only want to promote yourself. So on your LinkedIn profile, you know, that's a easy thing to turn off if you go in the settings, you know, view other people like me. You don't want to advertise that to anybody. When a recruiter, when you want somebody who looks at your profile to go, oh, let me just make sure I'm looking at you. So just take that hint and make sure your LinkedIn profile is promoting you.
Hey, Jeff, I have a question.
Okay.
Has anyone else in the group done one of those, I guess, introductory LinkedIn videos of yourself?
Anybody else?
I haven't yet, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to get the wording proper and then send that to Trevor.
I have.
Oh.
Okay. So Mark, how has it helped? I mean, what was involved doing it?
Well, I think you just sign up to BombBomb. Trevor likes you to sort of no more than a minute. He then edits it, or he'll send it back saying, no, this isn't right. You know, you need to do this. And then he posts it in his pod, whatever they're called. And then the more people, so like one came out today, the more someone shares it or likes it or comments on it, that person's profile then gets looked at more often. Now, did it do anything for me? Well, I'm still not working, but that might be my problem, not BombBomb. I've also used it particularly a phone interview or a Zoom interview. I've sent a thank you video. That certainly helped, I think, because it keeps the network alive. So I think, as Patty pointed out today, that is just one tool. Patty showed us another tool, and thank you, Patty. This has been amazing. Share this with Trevor because, you know, Trevor loves technology. You know, he's right out at the front. So
you're right. I should share it with Trevor. His brain would be mind blown, probably.
Yeah. And so, you know, I think, you know, I don't think this is ever going to be 100% accurate, but you think if you're going to an interview or you're about to do a Zoom interview, you're on the same page. You know, I think one of the things I like that Brandy Shade does is she takes the Strengths Finder, the Gallup, and she's applied AI to that so that she can give you a better profile again. So AI is becoming the norm. But going back to the video, Laura, I would say absolutely it's a great tool to use.
So I've been using videos for thank you emails or even introductory emails, follow-up, emails, sending them to people, and gotten positive responses on all of them. And I haven't signed up for BombBomb. I just do it on my computer. But specifically about that LinkedIn video, I haven't done it yet because the more I think about it is the more, okay, we're all on a job search. So are millions of other people. And I don't know if really I want to be one of, whether it's 5,000 or 50,000 or however many thousand people putting on a video that says, my first LinkedIn video. So I've just kind of debated it internally, and that's why I wanted to find out, what other people's thoughts were on it.
I want you to talk a little bit more about, you said that you're recording and you're sending video comments just using your computer after you've had a meeting. Tell us how you do that. Yeah, can you walk us through those steps?
So for example, when I've had 2 interviews now for a position with the Peru Museum. And after the first interview, which was with the HR consultant, I just recorded a video using my camera on my computer. And I recorded a short video just saying, instead of just sending a thank you email, I sent her an email with a link to the video. And the video was, thank you for your time and conversation this morning. Really interested in the position. Just to reiterate, here are 2 or 3 reasons why, I'd be wonderful for the job, basically. And got a really great response from her about that. And then she immediately sent it to the chief of staff, and I got the second interview. So after the second interview, and that was with the CEO, I did the same thing, not the same content, but actually sent, again, thank you for your time and conversation, really interested in the position. Here's a couple things that I wanted to mention that we didn't have time to talk about in the video, and sent that. And really made them, the first video I did was way too long. And so I learned from that. The second video I did was, I don't even think it was 2 minutes. And then I did the same thing with the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma that I've applied for a position there. Sent in the application, got a response saying, here's some updated questions we want you to answer. I answered those and then responded to the recruiter who had reached out to me again with a video. And it was again, thank you. And, that video, I specifically talked about culture because the Choctaw Nation is really, into a culture fit. So I really had again, a little brief snippet about that. So I feel like the responses I've gotten from the videos I've done has been really good. The whole BombBomb and or whether it's Trevor Houston doing the more professional type. Again, I'm not sure that that's what I want to do either, because I feel like I'm getting a good response because it is, not that it's a hokey video, but it's me. It's not a professional marketing type of video. It's me talking personally, and I'm not blasting it out to 50 recruiters. It's specific to individuals about the conversations or positions that I'm talking about. So, I feel like they've done pretty well so far. So anyway, again, I was just really kind of curious as far as, that whole thing about my first LinkedIn video. And I'm just on the fence about doing that in particular, and just kind of wanted to get feedback from other people.
Hey, Laura, technically, how do you say you record it on your computer? Are you using a certain app? How do you do that?
So I just have Windows 10 on my computer, and it has a camera. You can do the camera that comes in your suite, and that's on your computer. And then when you're on the camera, you can do still shots or you can do video, and then it automatically saves the video in the My Pictures file. So, and then I just go in and rename each video specific, with my name and the specific position, etc. And then I just, now all of the videos, they've been too big to just send via email. So actually what I then do is I put them in my Google Drive, and I send the link to that specific video in the email to the person. So they just access it directly by the Google Drive link.
The other thing you can also do, if you have a Zoom account, you can record yourself on Zoom. Zoom does a very compressed, I've noticed, I haven't tested either way, and maybe Laura, you can test it either way and let us know next week. But if you record yourself on Zoom, the recording is very small compared to when I have to take the recording and then edit it in any way. The edited version is 4 or 5 times as big, even though I've gone and cut stuff out of the video that was recorded. So you may want to try recording, try to use Zoom to do the recording, because if you have a free account, you can only record to your personal computer. Give it a shot. Keep it under, I think what Laura said, keeping it under 2 minutes maximum, I think is great. Probably even, we talk about in the practice interview team, you want your answers to be 60 to 90 seconds. So keep it short, keep it sweet. I think I commend you for doing the video interviews, because I think it really helps. It's different. It sets you aside that other people aren't going to do, and it shows that you know technology. So if anybody, as long as you have a Windows 10 computer, there's a little feature down there. It says camera. It's in one of the options when you open up the sidebar. And I've actually taken it when I started doing all the Zoom stuff. I took that icon and moved it over to onto my desktop, so I could access it whenever I want to. Now I don't use it anymore because I only use the Zoom feature. I use Zoom for everything. But at the beginning, that was how I was testing out the camera that I pulled out of a drawer that I hadn't used for 5 years when we were all stuck at home. So, how to get your computer up and running and figure that kind of stuff out. So
the only other thing that I would mention is, in the emails, I tell the person specifically about how long the video is. Because to me, if you don't, they don't know, to Jeff's point, oh God, did this woman just send me a 10-minute video after I talked to her for an hour? So, in the last 2 that I've done, I've said, here's a link to a less than 2-minute video, talking about, the metrics that we didn't have a chance to, or about my culture fit for the organization or whatever. So I try to tell the person about how long it is and kind of give a quickie note about what the video is, so they know that ahead of time, because I want to incentivize them to actually look at the video, as opposed to thinking, again, no, Lord, did she send me a 10-minute video after I just got off the phone with her, 15 minutes ago after talking to her for an hour. So again, I think I've gotten pretty good responses to that.
Yeah. And letting them know about the link, because personally, you send me a link and that's all there is. I'm not going to open it because I don't know where it's going. I don't know what you're going to do. So you want to put that detail in there to let people know what it is. Todd, did you have something?
Yeah, I was going to say, when I haven't been to one of their meetings yet with Trevor, but I didn't want to go to the extra expensive Boom Boom account. So I did some research and found some video editing software. You can use the Windows 10 to record it, but then I wanted to be able to edit it. And so I searched around a little bit, and there's a few available. You can choose different ones, but I saw Shotcut was pretty popular, and it's a free software. You can edit it. I tested it out by making a video for my grandkids when COVID first started. I read like a book to them, and I superimposed a picture of me reading it, and I could go back and edit it. And anytime I messed up, I could go and I could cut that spot out and just compress it back together, and made a little video of it. And I ended up I created a YouTube channel, because you see how to do that, and posted my videos there because they were so big.
And
Shotcut is a good video editor if somebody's looking to edit without using Boom Boom.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I use Shotcut when the Frisco Career Transition Workshop happened this spring, and we had some technical issues and stuff didn't work. I went and found Shotcut, and I edited a 2-hour video, or took the 90-minute presentation and then relayed in new slides, a new part of the video. It is, once you sort of learn how to use it, I think it's a great program for what it cost you, and it cost you zero. So,
and there's a lot of how-tos on YouTube for how to use it. Because it is technical on some issues, so you're gonna have to figure out how to make it work. But I was able to find, troubleshoot by finding YouTube videos of people saying, here's how you do it. So,
right. Yeah.
I think the other thing too with me, as the more kind of professional marketed ones, is I don't try to make my videos perfect. To me, I'm trying to establish and build an early relationship with whoever the recruiter is, or the the person I'm interviewing. So, if I do or something, I don't go back and change it. Now, if I've really messed up my script, so to speak, then I'll do it. But the last 2 videos I did, I just kind of mentally went through what I wanted to say, and then I just ran with it. And again, I think that piece of personableness hopefully comes through versus, again, if I have some professional doing it. And for me, the other thing about BombBomb, the selling point of BombBomb, from what I've heard about it, is this idea of analytics. You can see who watched your video, how many times they did it, blah, 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 blah. Well, again, for me, I don't need that because I'm not sending it out to bunches of people. I'm creating specific, almost like, they tell you should create a specific cover letter and a specific resume for every position. That's what I'm using the videos for. So I'm not necessarily sending it out to everybody. I'm creating snippets of me specifically geared towards, individuals.
Right. Mark, did you have something you wanted to add? I saw you muted your mic.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, and I think Laura has hit upon it, that the big advantage of videos, especially these personalized ones, is they can share them inside the organization. So organizations are often very big on collaboration, right? Or, when they select a new employee, they got about 10 upvotes and everybody's got to be on board. So those videos go a long ways. They can just, send them to their colleagues.
I just wanted to ask if there's a similar mechanism on the Mac, because I don't have Windows 10, don't have a PC. I guess I could try to figure it out, but I was wondering if anyone else has a Mac and they've tried to do something similar.
I think on a Mac it's called iMovie. If I'm not mistaken.
So this is Raj. You can do a few different things. I mean, on a Mac, you can use the QuickTime player and record using that. And once you've recorded it, it allows you to trim your movies, edit out bad parts if you like, and then you can save the movie out. And once you do that, then you can use the other tip that Laura shared. You can upload it to Google Drive or even iCloud and share a link to the video from the cloud.
Thank you.
Perfect, Raj. Thank you very, very much. Maybe that's what we'll do in a month from now. We'll show at the next open forum in October, we'll do maybe do a short PC and a short Apple version of how to make a little recording.
I just have, I hate to change the subject. If we're kind of finished with that part, I do have a LinkedIn
no, perfect.
question.
Go ahead, Diane.
Okay, sorry. I received something from LinkedIn saying that unless I had the little green thing around my picture, that I would only be open to recruiters. So they're the only ones who could see that I was open to work. Has anybody else gotten that notice from LinkedIn?
I got it. Yes,
Okay.
I got it.
I got it too.
Yeah,
So
that is true, because what it's doing is that if I look at your profile, I'm not going to see that you're looking for a new job. And what they're trying to do is force recruiters to have to pay for it. So if recruiters are paying for the system, then they are, if recruiters are paying for the system, they can then see in the background that you're open to work. But if I'm a recruiter and I don't pay for it, I just happen to be in the Career DFW LinkedIn group that has 12,000 members, and I'm looking for people and go, oh, I want to hire Roxanne. Well, wait, Roxanne, I don't know if she's open to work or not, unless she's put it in her about statement or in her, if I can't tell easily. They're just trying to sort of push that circle thing on there. If you're looking for work, you might as well do it. There's no reason not to. If you're not looking for work.
I have a quick comment on that. So, I had the green circle for a few weeks. And then earlier this week, I had a couple people tell me to take it off. One was a recruiter and one was someone who just got hired. And instead, to do what you just said, Jeff, was to rework my about section and my intro section and make sure I had the ONO, the open to new opportunities on there. And the reason that I got from both of those people, and again, it's an opinion, right? It's subjective, is that especially when there's so many of us out there looking for work right now, the key is that especially if you have your terminology and your right words, especially in your about section, that they'll pick that up on the ATS systems. But that the little green thing didn't look as professional beyond a certain level, and that they see it being used much more with either younger, new entrants into the employee market, millennials, et cetera, et cetera. So, you can take that for a grain of salt one way or the other. So I think if you feel it benefits you, then sure, put it on. But I did get that same message from LinkedIn, and I think it was almost instantaneous. The second I took it off, I got an email from LinkedIn about that.
And hopefully everybody has a current, you need to have a current job to be an all-star. The object is on LinkedIn, you want to be an all-star. You want to make, and to do that, one of the things you have to be is have a current job. Well, I'm assuming that of the 53 people currently on Zoom, you don't have a current job. So you need to create one in LinkedIn. The current job should be the job title or titles that you're looking for. The name of the company, I like to put in the name of the company, my phone number. And then underneath it in the description, open to new opportunities is the first line. And then I list 2 or 3 bullet points of things that I do, or things that, what are my top 3 or 4 things that I'm good at that I want people to find me on. When you're on LinkedIn, ATS systems or LinkedIn search boxes, you need to have those certain keywords 3 to 5 times in your profile. So if it's in job number 1 and in job number 2, and then maybe it's in your about section, there it is 3 different times. So, keywords are just very, very important, and you need to show a current job. And then when you get a current job, you just, you hide the one that you were using when you were unemployed, and then you go put a new job in.
Great, thanks. I have the O&O, and so I'll just go back and be sure that it's high enough in there that it's, I'm just not a huge fan of the green circle. So, so I think I'll just go back and double check my about section. Thanks.
Very good. Yes, Michelle.
I just wanted to, I'm not mute. Okay, I just wanted to mention that if you don't like the green, many people have created their own circles of various colors. I've seen that, and they put their own writing on it as well. And you can do that in a graphic program. You can do it in PowerPoint. You can do it in Word. There's many ways to do it. But that's one thing. The other thing I wanted to mention and ask Jeff is, Jeff, if you've been an all-star, they don't take that away from you. Is that correct? In other words, that would just be for someone who's working still towards all-star, correct?
I don't know if you've been an all-star and then they take it away. So one of you job seekers out there, if you don't have a current job listed, go look on your profile and see if you're still an all-star, if you know you were one. I don't know the answer to that, because I have a current job because I keep the Career DFW as an active event going on. So
yes, they will take it away.
Yes.
Okay, so Gary says they do take it away. So you're not always an all-star.
Depends who's saying it. I think we're all stars.
Well, yes. Everybody here is an all-star, yes.
So I just looked in my profile. I do have the all-star, even though my most recent job ended in August. And in my profile, I'm not currently employed.
Okay, you don't have anything that's current?
No, nothing in my experience section that has, from X date to current.
Okay, well, so, we won't tell LinkedIn to go take it.
But I was curious about that as well, whether, changing that status would affect my all-star rating. So far it hasn't, but I'll keep an eye on it.
Right. Diane, you opened up a good one. That was a good question there. Thank you.
Hey guys, I got a question. Sorry for the tick. I was stupid enough to get cancer about 9 years ago. And my colon ruptured because the chemo went all wrong. And here it is, it's 9 years later. I haven't had a real job since I had the contract job with up in Connecticut, working for a manufacturer of technology. They're the guys that make the integrated circuits and PROMs and ROMs and stuff like that. And I am trying to get back to work. And but the tech is not nearly as bad as it was 4 years ago when I first moved back to Dallas. And I am looking for any ideas about where I can go to try to find a job where I can get cut a little slack as to why I haven't worked.
Okay.
Target, I have worked for Target when at Richardson Square Mall since 2002. And Target was kind enough to spend the $650,000 to keep me alive when my colon ruptured. But there's a disconnect between Target corporate and the store. They don't want me at the store level unless I'm going to be a cashier. And I want to do so much more than that.
Right. Well, it's sort of interesting, Jeff. It's sort of interesting that this week a group reached out to me. It's called reachhire.com, REACHIRE.com, and I'll put information about it in the email blast this afternoon. What this company does is they work with big companies on return ships. Now, you may have heard the term a return ship is for somebody who has been unemployed for more than 2 years. So you're only qualified if you've been out of the job market for more than 2 years. And then what they do is they'll work with your resume, LinkedIn, all your training, and then they will work on getting you placed with a company that they've been hired by companies to offer these returnships to get people back into business, into companies. And usually the returnship is a guaranteed 3 or 6 month job. And she shared with me that 75% of the people who start a returnship the job turns into a full-time job. Companies are not doing this just to bring you in for 3 to 6 months. They're looking for full-time employees. They're looking for people who have been employed, who want to get back in the job market. They realize that being unemployed for 2 years or more is a problem. And so I will put that information, Jeff, into the email blast that goes out this afternoon, so you'll be able to capture that. She sent me a PowerPoint, and it was yesterday when I had it, the phone call, so I haven't had a chance to look at the details yet, but it sounds very interesting. And she told me they have some jobs at T-Mobile up in Frisco that they're trying to place people at. If you've been unemployed more than 2 years, like I said, reach out to this. I'll send the link out this afternoon, and check out about it. And I am going to schedule, they have a presentation they're putting on. They haven't completed it yet about how to talk about your career break. If you've been on a break for a couple years or whatever, how to tell that story correctly. So as soon as they get that presentation ready to go, I'm going to have them present that at a Friday meeting for us, because I think it's a fascinating talk. And even if you've only been unemployed 6 months, I think it's still it'll be some valuable tools to get out of it. So Jeff,
reachhire.com.
Reach REACHIRE.com.
Oh, IRE.
Yeah. Reach higher, but only one H in between the two words.
Jeff, did they say anything about pay? How does that?
It is fully paid after 3 months. I think they say benefits kick in. So it is not, and you are not paying Reach Hire for. They're not taking part of your salary. The company pays for this as a service. A lot of big companies they're offering these kind of programs, and this company is they're actually based out of the Boston area. So most of their companies are out of the Boston area, but now with working from home, you could probably be anywhere. But she told me that they had a couple of Texas companies they're trying to reach out to. And that's why she reached out to me, because she found me and wanted to know more about how big my reach was and how easily I could get the word out to people who are looking, because they've got companies who want to hire people. They've got to fill their pipeline with people who could be hired. So, but supposedly it's regular pay. There's no difference. There's no fees to be paid by you. And the company isn't really paying a fee, but they're paying a retainer fee just in general to bring people in.
So, Jeffrey, right? This is Mark. We have a candidate right now who's in that program. She's practiced for once and she's going to practice again. So I'll ask her if she'd be willing to talk to you. My understanding is it's in her case, it's a 6-month contract. It may or may not be renewed, but as Jeff said, about 75% of them go on to become full-time employees. Reach Hire considers themselves a recruiting company, but they're recruiting a very specific set of people, people who have been out of work for 2 years. And I think it's professional. So what does that professional mean? I would assume it means a degree or enough years of experience to substitute for a degree. But I'll ask her and we'll see if that helps you out.
Okay, this is Lily. Mr. Gill, especially for you and for everyone else, I copied and pasted the text from a message that I received on this subject. It has a link too.
And this is Raj. I put the link to the Reach Hire webinar, which is on September 16 in chat as well.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, please be sure to, and I'll capture these links and stuff, and I'll be sure to put them into the email I put out this afternoon. So in case you don't happen to capture this stuff now, I'll be, like I said, I'll include it this afternoon. Anything else? We got a couple minutes. Anything, another question, other topic people want to talk about before we start Labor Day? Yes, Jeff. No, that's Todd. Todd, you're muted.
Did not click it correctly. Okay, I'm here. Low priority question, but you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, and I'd already heard about doing professional headshots over at the Cottonwood Creek Church did free headshots.
Yes.
I went and did that. While they were there, they had Channel 11 doing interviews about it. I don't know if you saw it or not, but they did a little clip on Channel 11 for the event. They interviewed me. I got on TV for it. So I've got the clip of it. Anybody have any suggestions in any way I should use that to promote that I was interviewed? I'm not sure that it really pertains to my job directly, but I'm not sure if there is anything or not, but I've got that. If there's any way to promote that, should I put that on LinkedIn? Hey, I got on, they interviewed me. Here's me verbally or anything like that, or
I think
video.
I'd put it on your YouTube channel and then grab the link for it, and then be sure in your signature line, under your signature, I would put the link. Watch me on Channel 11.
Yeah. Okay.
And if people want to click to see who you are,
right. Okay.
Can't hurt.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Somewhere to throw it. Yeah, it's not a major deal, but
right.
I'll throw it out.
Jeff, this is Kelly. I have a question regarding LinkedIn. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, good. My microphone was acting up. So this is an open question to the group using the location feature in LinkedIn and how best to be found by recruiters. So in the Dallas area, what I mean is in your profile, you can list something like Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, right? That's pretty broad. Or you could be specific. People might type in, like if I were a recruiter looking for someone in Dallas, I might just type in Dallas. Okay, that's pretty specific. But what if you live in a suburb of Dallas, say Plano? I'm trying to determine what is the best location for my LinkedIn profile to put. Do I want something broad like Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, because that's commonly what a researcher would search on, or something a little more narrow because, I'm not going to take a position in Fort Worth. So do I want something Dallas, even though I don't live in Dallas, or do I want to be hyper specific and put the city that I actually reside in? But could that also limit a search? Because if they're looking at Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex or Dallas proper, they might not see if I lived in Richardson or Carrollton if they're not searching for that specifically. Any thoughts on how specific one should be?
I have an answer for that from all the LinkedIn presentations that I've seen. All the LinkedIn professionals are going to tell you to put in Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, because that's the search that most recruiters are going to use. They're not going to just put in, I'm looking for somebody who lives in Prosper, or I'm looking for somebody who lives in Frisco. They're going to put in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. You can always turn it down if you're not interested in going. And at this point, It's sort of interesting. I actually saw this in the Dallas Business Journal yesterday. A company's looking to hire, but they've said for the next 4 to 6 months, you'll be working from home, but you will be required to come to the office when we open up in, next year. So, I think at this point I would put down Dallas Fort Worth. I think that's what that's what the professionals, what I hear the professionals say.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I appreciate that. I wasn't sure, and I just kind of wanted to ask the brain trust here. My second follow-up question regarding LinkedIn, we're talking about all-star status. How do you know if you have all-star status? How does that appear on one's LinkedIn profile?
It doesn't appear on your profile. It appears when you're building your profile. So when you're going to edit your profile, it should show up midway towards the top on the right-hand side, maybe. I don't have it up.
Yeah, I just looked that up a minute ago because I was wondering the same thing. And if you click on under your me and then go to view profile, and then you, like you said, you go down a few little ways, and there's a kind of great area that says your dashboard. And the upper right corner of the dashboard, that's where mine says all-star. It could say advanced or let's see, it looks like you can be, I had that pulled up.
Yes, thank you very much. It is. It's in your dashboard section. I appreciate that.
And it looks like it goes from beginner, intermediate, advanced, expert, and all-star are your levels.
Right. That used to be a lot more prevalent. They used to put it right out there in front on your home page, but they've buried it. Some UX
I had a hard time finding it.
Bury it. All right, one more question, one more thing before we conclude today. Anybody? No, nothing. All right, well, here we'll sort of end up what we have here. Let me share this. Oops. So if you're not receiving any emails from the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group, if you're on Zoom, please be sure to put your information in the group chat box. Just that way I can make sure we get you added to the group. For those people on Facebook, if you will, you can just send me an email and I'll be sure to get your information added. That way you'll find out about future meetings. Next Friday, we'll be talking about the new normal job search and what has changed. Kurt Vandermatter is a top 10 LinkedIn, or he's a top 10 recruiter nationally. And you can check his profile out and you can find out more about him, but he'll be our speaker. I've known him for many years. Should be an interesting time to sort of hear his view of what's going on right now in the job search. Once again, for those people who have not put in their 30-second introductions, that we don't have your information in the chat box, please put in your name, phone number, email address, positions you're looking for, 2 or 3 target companies, and I'll get all those out in this afternoon's email. Please be sure when you get that email this afternoon, be sure to check your junk or spam folder in case my email goes there, and please mark it not junk and or not spam. And then look down the list and see who you can help.
I had an appointment Wednesday and the nurse was supposed to call me back and tell me whether
and see if you can, help somebody else. That would be a real benefit to anybody else. Let's see here, click over here. So next Tuesday, our LinkedIn presentation is Terry Sullivan. Fascinating. It's a really different kind of presentation because it's all about, how to be noticed and how to make sure people know who you are. Next Wednesday, the Interview Wednesday workshop will be session number 6, interview openings and closings and following up. And then on Thursday, we'll do our effective resume Thursday class. If you have a resume you'd like to submit, we'd be glad to review it. You can do it beforehand and get it to us, or you can wait and submit it on that Thursday if we don't have 2 of them already. This session has been recorded. I will get it up on the Career FW Facebook page and on the Career USA YouTube channel later this afternoon. You can go back and you can watch this Crystal Knows and find out all about it. If you go to the YouTube page, this is what it looks like. It's the Career USA YouTube channel. Click on playlist where you see that green arrow. And then if you look for the North Dallas Plano Career Group Focus Speakers, you'll see underneath that red arrow where it says View Full Playlist, and you'll see a whole lot of events that are going on. So thank you very much for joining us. Have a great weekend. You get a long weekend this weekend, and good luck with what's going on, and have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for being with us today.
Were you able to hook up that toilet?
Yeah.